Hi everyone. Today we're going to do a read aloud. It's called The Most Magnificent Thing. Now, as I'm reading this story, I want you to be thinking about a habit of mind that this girl uses throughout the whole story. At the end of the story, we'll do a quick lesson and discuss what that habit of mind was and see if we all came up with the same one. So, The Most Magnificent Thing, written and illustrated by Ashley Spires. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, and they relax. She makes things, he unmakes things. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. She knows just how it will look. She knows just how it will work. And all she has to do is make it. And she makes things all the time. Easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way and get to work. Now, if we look here, it doesn't really look like she got out of the way very well. She's right at the bottom of her steps in the middle of the sidewalk, but she keeps going. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she is finished, she steps back to admire her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They are shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even sort of okay. It is all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. There's a clue, by the way. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing still is wrong. She decides to try again. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square, she makes it round, she gives it legs, she adds an antenna. She makes it fuzzy, she makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small, or even one that smells of stinky cheese. But none of them are magnificent. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind. She gets mad. The angrier she gets, the faster she works. She smashes pieces into shapes. She jams parts together. She pummels the little bits in. Her hands feel too big to work, and her brain is too full of all the not right things. If only the thing would just work. Crunch! The pain starts in her finger. It rushes up to her brain and she explodes. It is not her finest moment. I'm no good at this. I quit. Her assistant suggests a walk. Maybe she just needs a little break. It's not much help at first, but before long, she starts to feel different. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. You can see how her facial expression is even changing. Her head is down and she looks bummed out. Here it looks like her chin is starting to go up. She's getting a little bit of a smile on her face. There's that smile after seeing some balloons, and now she's getting a treat, so she's really happy. The walk is definitely helping her mood. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again. Then she notices something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong things that are really quite right. The bolts on one, the shape of another, the wheel-to-seat ratio of the next. There are all sorts of parts she likes. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the thing magnificent. She gets to work. She works carefully and slowly, tinkering, hammering, twisting, fiddling, gluing, painting. Her assistant makes sure there are no distractions. Here this man is saying, "This is the perfect thing to ward off bears. This will stop that leak. This one's all wet." The afternoon fades into evening. Finally, she finishes. She alerts her assistant. The pair take a good long look. It leans a little to the left, and it's a little bit heavier than expected, and the color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing. I'll bring it up here. If you can see, she made a little side cart for her scooter so her puppy or her assistant can ride along with her. So it ended up working out in the end. And that's the end of the story. Okay, so the first thing I want you guys to look at is this little sequencing chart that I have for the story. It uses transitional words that we've learned about: first, next, then, and finally. So it says, first, she makes a thing that isn't magnificent. Next, she tries different ways and makes many things that aren't magnificent. Then, she crunches her finger while working and her assistant takes her on a walk. That's when she got really mad. Finally, she makes the most magnificent thing. So that's kind of the story in a nutshell right there. Now, if we look ahead, we're going to do a character close-up on the girl in the story. So it's got a picture of her and is showing different parts of her. She thinks, she says, she feels, and she does. So I'm going to read those to you. This character thinks she is going to make the most magnificent thing. She says, if only the thing would just work. She feels a lot of different emotions. She's excited, surprised, then she gets disappointed and mad, and in the end, she's happy. And some things that she does are keeps trying over and over again. So the word that I was thinking of, the habit of mind that she uses throughout this story, is persistence. It says at the bottom here, she is persistent. She did not give up. She kept on trying no matter what. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that word persistence. It means that you're going to overcome hard things. You're going to keep trying no matter what. So it says, I can overcome hard things by trying and trying again, asking a friend for help, saying positive words, taking a break, thinking good thoughts, and not giving up. So those are some of the things that the girl in the story used to help her get through, to stay persistent and to not give up on her most magnificent thing. So if we look ahead, the word that we talked about, or the habit that we talked about, was persistence. It means that you're able to work through things even when they get difficult. You keep trying and don't give up. So your assignment for today is to think about the word persistence. Write about a time that you were persistent through something that wasn't so easy for you. Be sure that your sentences include capital letters, word spaces, and correct punctuation. Then take a picture of it and send it to your reading teacher. Now this is something that you can just do on regular notebook paper. You wouldn't have gotten anything in your work packets if you're a first grader. It's just something that you can write on regular paper with, and then take a picture of it and submit it to your reading teacher. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I hope you can make some connections between the little girl in the story and something in your life that you were persistent with. Good luck with your work, and have a good day. Thanks.